This is the HeadRush Podcast with Paul Frase and Corey Berry.
Welcome to the HeadRush Podcast. My name is Paul Frase, and I played 11 years in the NFL, and our co-host, Corey Berry, rode professionally in the rodeo circuit for 9 years. And he rode probably one of the toughest events in rodeo. He was a bareback bronc. He was a bronc rider. And our friend Nicholas LeDuc, he rides broncs, but he has a saddle, doesn't he?
Right. It's called saddle bronc riding.
That's saddle bronc riding. Is that easier?
It's an etiquette, but I would say it's easier to ride with the saddle because, heck, when I roped and I rode horses with my saddle on, I stayed on real easy. So,
right. I still don't understand how you did it, Corey, and any of you guys do the rodeo. But so at the HeadRush
I don't understand how you hit a 300-pound man 16 weeks a year plus 5 days a week during practice.
Don't knock it, Corey.
Are you going to turn it the right way?
Yeah.
No.
Other way. No. Are you serious? StopCTE.org. Don't knock it. Our friends at the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation. Yeah. I don't know why I would knock my head against a 300-pound man over and over and over again, but I did. So,
the funny thing is you did it for $55,000.
Yeah. My first year's salary was $55,000. I was a 6-round draft pick when they had 12 rounds. So that was just before I had an 11-year career, and I never received another call after my 11th year, and the salaries started slowly going up and up and up when I got out of the league. So, but I'm not complaining. Not at all.
So when did you sign your first, and we know that you never made $1 million a season. When did you sign your first $1 million contract?
I signed a 3-year deal and my 6th year in the NFL, which would have been 1994. So I had 1 year of a $1.45 million contract over 3 years. I had 1 year of that. And then I got drafted in the expansion draft to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I made it all the way to the final cut, hours before the final cut. And I was pulled in by the then acting general manager, Michael Hugh, and Michael said, "Hey, Paul, we've got a rookie here. He's raw. He's got talent, but he's not as good as you. But we're only going to pay him $80,000 a year. So if you don't take a pay cut, we're going to keep him." And so the second year of my huge contract got torn up. Boom. In a matter of seconds, because I played 11 years, and 8 out of the 11 training camps it was pins and needles, and it was touch and go, and I had to fight and earn a position on the team, being one of the 240 defensive linemen in the world that got to play that year. So
I got a question.
Yeah.
Nowadays, me and you talked about it. Nowadays, say, I'm just going to throw out there a name brand. Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Multi-$100 million contract. If he gets traded to the Jets, they have to honor that contract, or can they say, no, you need to take a pay cut or be cut? And if they do take a pay cut, does the Chiefs still owe that money?
Okay, there's a ton of different variables, but let's just keep it really simple. Let's say Patrick Mahomes was supposed to make $50 million this year, and Kansas City decided, no, no, done. We can't pay that. Oh, wait, we won't pay that for you, Patrick. If there is an interest, if he's still under contract for that $50 million, usually it's structured that if Kansas City lets him go, somebody else has to pick him up. And if they pick him up within a certain amount of time and off of waivers, they have to pay him that $50 million salary. If Patrick Mahomes goes home and nobody picks him up until the 5th week of the year, then that new team can actually reevaluate the structure of his contract and actually do a whole new contract with him. And so maybe Patrick is only worth 30 million a year. Who's worth 30 million a year? There's just, it's a game. No, it's what the market allows. So anyway,
Okay, back to the podcast.
yeah, amen. Thank you. Okay, at the HeadRush podcast, we talk about everything related to brain trauma and brain health and wellness. We talk about traumatic brain injury, TBI. We talk about chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, TES, traumatic encephalopathy syndrome, which is the closest that you can be diagnosed to CTE while you are still alive. And Corey will probably share a little bit about his diagnosis of TES. So we also talked about repeated head impacts in a big way, because repeated head impacts actually are the causation of CTE. We talk about repeated blast exposures for our veterans, our men and women veterans. So, and we talk about the important facts that all of these head traumas can and will cause health issues, mental health issues like depression, addiction, lack of executive function, memory loss, even suicide ideation. And so these symptoms can be found in the Mayo Clinic and the Boston University Clinic websites. And our mantra is how to cope and find hope. And Corey, what are we going to talk about today?
Well, before we get to talking about it, I want to bring it up since you forgot to mention it, but I'll blame that on CTE. We are the official podcast for the HeadRush Foundation.
Yes.
So I want to talk a little bit about the HeadRush Foundation. First, since I just had to bring that up, that we're the official podcast for the HeadRush Foundation. Did I say that right?
Yes, absolutely.
And so what's the HeadRush Foundation's mission, Paul?
So I will read the mission statement. The HeadRush Foundation is dedicated to improving the lives of individuals affected by neurological and brain-related conditions by providing financial assistance for treatment access, delivering education and emotional support, and advancing awareness and research efforts that expand access to effective care. And I'm going to try to remember that. Corey, what are the odds that I can remember that someday?
Never. I got money on the knot.
Well, you talk, the foundation, it's near and dear to both of our hearts. Corey, you've been just a driving force. We actually got our IRS designation letter a few weeks ago. And
are we approved?
We are approved to actually take donations and give the donor a 501c3 donation receipt, so they can actually write off, or they can use that receipt for their tax implications. But we are an actual registered IRS approved. Letter of termination is a yes. We are a 501c3 foundation. So
in the meantime, how can people get a hold of us to donate money to the foundation? I know we started the website landing page is at headrushfoundation.org, or they could also go to the headrushpodcast.com, or they can contact me or you, private message us, and we can give them the banking information needed to make a donation.
And that is going to allow us to start bringing hope, awareness, and help to hope and awareness has been our mantra for the last 14 months. Corey and I have been doing this for 14 or 15 months, and we've been happy to do it. Now we've always wanted to be able to help people that suffer from the effects of repeated head impacts and possible TES, probable, possible CTE. We're all about,
and repeated blast exposure.
Yes. Yeah.
So let's make sure a big part of us is going to be for our first responders, our veterans, and our non-professional athletes that ain't millionaires but played through college and are feeling their things. We're going to help out, and we will help out a professional athlete if they're down and out and they need help. We can help them. Correct?
Yes, absolutely. There's going to be an application process, and it'll be a type of grant that you apply for if you're an athlete or a veteran or a first responder, police, firemen, so on and so forth, paramedics. So that's our goal, to grow substantially and be able to get help to these all of these people. And we're going to be talking about today. We're going to be talking about some of the ways that we want to get help to these people.
Millions live with depression, anxiety, fatigue, or emotional chaos, believing it's permanent. It's not. The Millennium Protocol targets hidden inflammation and hormone disruption caused by trauma, stress, and time. Created by Dr. Mark Gordon, featured multiple times on Joe Rogan and the HeadRush podcast, plus the documentary movie Quiet Explosions, this approach has transformed lives once written off as hopeless. Visit tbihelpnow.org and take the 10-question brain health assessment. Healing is possible. Your story isn't over. Let's begin again with your brain.
So we will actually help people with getting some of these modalities, doctor visits, and everything. Our main goal at HeadRush is eventually we want to do a Texas version brain rehabilitation facility. And that's bringing in y'all to come to the ranch, get a little equine therapy, but also get a chance to do all of these modalities there, plus vestibular therapy, physical therapy, and
TMS, hopefully, and neurofeedback, and all sorts of things.
Right. And I think this is be the first national long-term facility in the nation for repeated head impacts and repeated blast exposure. Long-term nonprofit facility with these types of modalities, as well as neurologists and everything else. So we're mixing everything into one. That's right. One You can see your neurologist, maybe get hyperbaric. See your neurologist, maybe get TMS. You can do that anywhere. But some of the red light therapy, maybe get the brainwell program through Mizell involved, and get blood work done for your hormones. There's a lot of options out there, but we are wanting to build a neuro rehab facility, Texas version.
And yeah, it's going to be big, right, Corey? Everything's big in Texas. Is that the fact? Or
I saw a spider the other day this big. So
no,
yeah,
thank you.
everything's big in Texas.
No, thank you. So interestingly, obviously we know this is going to take a lot of support from friends, from families, from corporate sponsorship, and for everybody who sees the vision and knows somebody who suffers from repeated head impacts, and we know some people are going to push that donate button and give $15, $50, $100, but our goal is to go ahead and get this center set up so we can get consistent help to the people that need it. So
let's talk about some of these treatments. And some of these treatments we're going to talk about. Are we going to endorse them? Possibly, but right now I want to talk and make it very clear. We are not giving medical advice. We are not doctors. Please go see your physician if you have any questions about any of these therapies that we are about to share with you. We are not doctors. We are two brain injured people that deal with repetitive head impacts. So we deal on that. We're not doctors. We're not smart enough to be doctors. And I couldn't remember how to even become a doctor.
Yeah. And remember, it's going to be an application process. Obviously, we know that through the years, there's going to be some emergency situations that might need assistance, like immediately, like yesterday, like, tonight. But the HeadRush Foundation has dedicated, and we're getting application processes, so similar to a grant process for people that need financial assistance for some of these things. And pretty cool that we are going to talk about two of the things we're going to talk about tonight. Corey, you have actually experienced through your therapist and through insurance, because a couple of these modalities are FDA approved and for specific situations, for specific maladies, and but they are reimbursed. So, Corey, I want TMS would be the first one I think we want to talk about. Do you want to introduce it?
What's it stand for? Transactional?
Transcranial transactional. That's right. Transcranial magnetic stimulation, TMS, and the FDA has cleared it. It is on the reimbursement schedule for insurance, and Corey actually was qualified to do TMS. But basically, what it does, and this is a very basic breakdown of what it does, and now we're going to hear from Corey's mouth personally how he felt, and also what some people that are very close to Corey felt about that treatment. But okay, so TMS stimulates underactive brain nerve cells, primarily treating treatment-resistant depression and OCD. So basically, that's what the FDA has cleared TMS for. And basically, it's simply put, it helps to rewire neural connections, similar to the dendrites, and helping the dendrites grow and recreate new connections in the brain. Corey, talk to us about TMS.
It's weird.
Well, how do they do it? How does it get applied to you?
It's first you got to go see a doctor, and then they do a little test, and they wait for your finger to twitch or something while they're setting it up, and it's a big cone that fits over your head with a sock underneath.
Kind of like the Coneheads from Saturday Night Live, or no? But that's really old.
But this has got a big hose connected to it.
Okay.
It and then it sounds like an MRI machine. And it's about 20 minutes, and I did 32 visits and 32 sessions. If I get a chance where there's a facility closer, I'm thinking about going and doing another 32. What did I notice? I can't tell you because my short-term memory is like non-existent. And so it was funny because everyone goes, well, how's it make you feel? I don't know. I don't remember.
So what we have learned, and Corey, you might recall Mark Rippian on Quiet Explosions actually did TMS, and they showed him doing a session of it. And the doctor that was approved, I believe he was approved by he might have been approved by the NFL, but anyway, he was one of the leading doctors in TMS, and he explained it. And I love the simple explanation he gave. It's basically for that like the repeated triggers, whatever that repetitive trigger was. It actually stimulates the neurons that are less active to actually start talking to the neighboring neuron that is less active, and then and so on and so on and so on. So that's how he explained it. You actually want to engage the neurons back into activity, and there are studies that show that it has been able to increase the dendritic growth, the little dendrites that connect the neurons and talk to each other. So now, Corey, you don't remember. You didn't really there's no real sensation from it, right?
No, you don't. It's something that it takes time. It don't happen in one session. But talking with my therapist, Crystal Clark at MC Wellness, my wife, my vestibular coach or vestibular therapist, and some of the others, they said no, they believe that it did a lot of good for me, that they could honestly see a difference. And I think that's the main point with a lot of these modalities that we're going to talk about today, is that we may not notice them right away, but the people around us may notice them. And because we're still damaged goods, you know, I'm a good man. I got a good heart, but I'm damaged. You're damaged, you know, and so our damages are showing. A matter of fact, speaking of damages, Paul, just popped in my head. Welcome to my brain. I was at the gym yesterday and I was doing them face pulls.
Oh, no.
Well, my shoulders don't go back all the way, and I can't get full motion. So I'm doing the best I can. And this young guy comes up to me and he goes, you know, you ain't doing it right. You got to get your shoulders back. And I'm using the wide handstands and like making muscle. And he's like, you got to get your shoulders back more. And this ain't really going to help you unless you do proper technique. And I looked at him, I said, well, I've had 5 shoulder surgeries, a neck fusion, and a low back fusion, and I'm 57 years old. I really don't think my shoulders work like yours.
Well, Was he gracious, or did he just walk away, or what did he?
He just kind of walked away.
Oh gosh. Now, that's true. I mean, the mobility is everything in some of those exercises. I was thinking you were going to say something horrific like you let go of the bar, or the bar let go to the weight, and you hit yourself in the head or something. Or like,
Oh,
well,
no.
so
But back to the TMS. So I did 32 visits, and you got to go every day. I think it's 5 weeks. So it's 5 days a week for 5 weeks or something like that, I believe. And so I went and done that. And then afterwards, everyone's telling me I seem like I'm doing a little bit better and whatnot. I do not understand it. I don't know how it works. I don't know what it really did for me, but the people around me have noticed. But for me, I can't remember. But again, what you have for dinner last night, Paul?
it was hummus and cabbage. And then I had some really healthy cacao, purple sweet potato balls of goodness for dessert, dipped in cacao, which was 100% cacao, not very sweet, but there was a little honey drizzled over it. But anyway.
Your memory's better than mine. Don't ask me what I had for dinner last night. I can't tell you.
Well, one of the things that was pretty cool about your TMS experience, because you've been with some of these therapists for a couple of years.
Oh yeah,
so they knew how screwed up you were, right? Well, anyway, just kidding.
I'm still screwed up. I was at vestibular therapy last week, and they got me balancing on a board.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, and for the first 2 minutes, you go back and forth and see if you can control it to barely hit the ground. The next 2 minutes, you got to try to balance.
Right. Oh.
Well, I'm doing that, and then all of a sudden, the lights on the wall lit up.
Oh.
Blew my brain out. The rage came on. I kicked the paddleboard against the wall, and out the door I went.
Can you overstimulate that fast? That type of light, the flashing light, can overstimulate you that quickly, right?
Yep.
Wow. Yeah, and I'm messed up too, Corey. I just didn't want to pick on you, but believe me, I can work for a good 2 hours in the morning and stay pretty consistent. I can't multitask too good, but man, 2 or 3 hours into it, I all of a sudden get brain fatigue and things start looking crossways and sideways, and I have to sit down, and I have to look back at my pad of paper that I had to write everything down. You've been teaching me that, so I don't forget it, and I still forget it unless I'm looking at it. But yeah, I mean, it goes through phases, and if I get a little bit of rest, I can pick it up in the afternoon and do some good things. But yeah, it's now the TMS. I know a couple of your therapists actually were the ones that said, "Hey, looks like you really benefited from the TMS." So now, obviously, if the FDA has cleared it for the depression,
OCD.
the OCD and the they allow it to treat treatment-resistant depression. So treatment-resistant depression could be somebody who's already tried 3 or 4 SSRI drugs and they just don't work for them. So the FDA knows that TMS can have a positive effect on some people. So they actually, when the insurance company starts reimbursing for some of these things, that's what we want. That's what we need. That's what people deserve, period. I mean,
Well, ask a question. How many people you know have tried one SSRI and it's worked?
not, I don't know personally anybody. I know friends that do take different SSRI drugs, and God, God bless them, benzodiazepines and this and that, and they still are kind of on a roller coaster trying to find the best treatment, And we know what is the percentage of people that SSRI drugs actually work on.
About 15%.
And this is clinical. This is not Corey Berry and Paul Frase saying, "Hey, I think SSRI drugs don't work for many people." No,
Clinically, it's a 75 to 80% failure rate on your first SSRI.
Yeah, well, this is why we work with somebody like Mizell DeMaio through the Millennium Protocol, because
the Brainwell program.
the Brainwell program.
Sponsors.
Yes,
there
they
are
are
sponsors, so you need to say the Brainwell program.
The Brainwell program. So at Paradise Behavioral Health Doctor, she's our doctor of psychiatry, Dr. Mizell DeMaio. And one of the really cool things she does before she even suggests, first of all, she would like to get you better without some of those pharmaceutical drugs. But if you have to have a pharmaceutical drug, and some people respond to them and better to them, but Mizell actually takes genetic testing so she can understand what your body might accept from one of the drugs, one of the SSRI drugs. So if you are going to be receptive to it genetically. So that's a huge step in psychiatry, because how many horror stories did you hear? I've heard of friends experiencing this. They go and they get on a drug for a month and they say, "Doc, it's not working. It's actually making me feel worse. I didn't have suicide ideation, but now who knows?" And the doctor says, "Oh, well, let's try something else." And how many things do they have to try before they might get some relief or help? So
I know my doctor back in early 2000s, I think. I can't even remember what year. He put me on an SSRI, and within about 3 months, I went back and he asked me how I'm doing. I said, I quit taking them. Why? Because I don't feel nothing. I have no emotions. I'm not happy. I'm not sad. I'm not mad. I'm just numb. And so I had to get off of them because it was like, dude, I want to feel. If I'm pissed, I want to feel pissed. If I'm happy, I want to feel happy. That's human emotion. And I couldn't, like I said, I took it very little. The next thing we're going to try, Paul, is I have been in contact with V-Light. Is it V-Light or Vi-Light?
VIE Light. So we'll call it V-Light.
Okay, V-Light. And I'm going to get one of their Gamma Duos with the helmet and the nose spray. Not nose spray, nose light, right? A red light.
It's a mechanism that actually, and we're talking about photobiomodulation, i.e., the infamous red light therapy.
And what is that? It's a non-invasive, non-thermal light therapy using red and near infrared light to stimulate cellular function, used for pain relief, wound healing, and neurological conditions. And last week, we had Rico Petrini on the HeadRush. So if you want to know more about red light, go watch our episode from last week. because he's been on it for years and he's been part of several studies. And they did a big study in Utah at the college, didn't they?
Yeah, I think it was an entire football team. I think it was, and I think
not the entire team.
No, okay.
It was like half the team, or the ones that had it and was doing treatment during the season. At the end of the season, they had no damage shown, and they did imaging before and after.
Right.
And then the players that did not have it had damage even without a concussion, still showed inflammation, correct?
Yeah, exactly. You are exactly right. And that was from the repeated head impacts period. And I'm not sure if that study has been released yet, but it is a fantastic study. One of the things that red light therapy does, and I'm just starting to learn the science of it. Now, it's been around, red light therapy, red light treatment. Some are better than others. Some penetrate more thoroughly the skull than others. Some bounce off the skull. So you have to have a certain frequency or a certain megahertz or whatever, and we're just learning about that. This episode of the HeadRush podcast is brought to you by our personal doctor and team of doctors, Dr. Mizell DeMayo, and she's with the Paradise Behavioral Health, and we are in the
Brainwell program, which is also part of the Millennium Health Center. Dr. Mark Gordon, you've seen him on Joe Rogan and even on our show, the HeadRush podcast, and hormones. And Mizell is awesome. We love her.
She's our doctor of psychiatry. She works the Mark Gordon program with the hormones, and she adds her twist of genetics, and it basically is melding two wonderful mediums together, and we're getting great help from Dr. Mizell DeMayo.
So please check out her website at paradisebehavioral.com. Look up the Brainwell program. Get involved.
She's sponsoring us. They're sponsoring us for the next year, so we are excited to have them on board and shout the good news to everybody that is watching these broadcasts. So,
is she helping you, Paul?
Absolutely.
She's helping me. So go check her out. ParadiseBehavioralHealth.com.
So what is great about, we've talked about the study, the big study that came out with the one football team from Utah, and we are actually getting a red light therapy helmet contraption, and Corey already explained they actually have a nasal clips with the red light that goes up into the cranium. There's actually neurons that stretch up for smell. And they actually pierce into the brain, so they actually send the red light therapy up. Now, what red light therapy does, one of the things it does, it actually helps aid the mitochondria to produce ATP at a cellular level. So it actually wakes up and gives assistance to mitochondria. And it actually also, Rico has explained that it will take waste and inflammation out of the brain. And there's a couple other things. Yeah. And we know about getting inflammation out of the brain and how that can positively affect us. One of the things, Rico has his own testimony. He was in a trial at 47 years old. He was one of the top salesmen in his job, and he was doing well, and he's very gregarious, and he's a good guy, and he's a smart dude. And all of a sudden, at 47 years old, it was very interesting. It was the same, and he played in college, right? He played college football.
Oregon State University.
There you go. He didn't get into the NFL, but he played since he was like 7 years old, like a young kid, I
Well,
believe.
he played at Sierra High School, which is where Tom Brady and all of them also played.
That's right.
So it was an elite football school. And then he went as, wasn't he a star player?
Yeah, he was a star
what
linebacker.
do they call All-American linebacker?
Oh, yeah. He was a blue chip, rated 5-star or something like that.
What were you?
Unknown. He was a blue chip. I was a blue collar from New Hampshire.
Weren't you an All-American on the All-American
No.
team?
I was an honorable mention All-American Big East. So we had teams like Penn State, West Virginia, Boston College, Syracuse, Rutgers, Virginia Tech, and I was honorable mention All-American at Syracuse. So I was not big time like he was.
Okay.
But I was unknown. I was the only kid out of the state of New Hampshire. Well, one of two kids out of the state of New Hampshire that made Division I over like a 7 or 8 year period. And then, getting a chance in the NFL, there's probably 10 or 15 tops that have ever made it out of the state of New Hampshire. But yeah, I was not a blue chip 5-star, whatever they rate these high school kids nowadays. But Rico was excellent.
And just think, Rico being an all-star blue chip linebacker never made the NFL because of his repeated head impacts.
Exactly.
Once again, here's another guy that never made it pro, but was good enough to play at a high level that ended up with repeated head impacts and is suspected CTE. Well, he's probable. He's like me. He's actually got clinically diagnosed TES, probable CTE. So once again, a guy that's never made pro dealing with the effects of it.
Yeah, we can absolutely repeat some of the study. One of the studies that's coming out eventually. It's still being peer reviewed, I believe. But anyway, so Rico, 47 years old, his testimony, and go back and listen to this because we just dropped it last Monday, and it's a great episode. So he flatlined. He went apathetic. You all have heard me talk about, and 47 years old, I flatlined, and it felt like my neurotransmitters were not existent. The dopamine, the serotonin. I was supposed to feel good. I used to feel emotion. I used to feel good. And all of a sudden, boom, it was like flatline. And he had that same experience. And he had his experience, which I had as well. Anxiety started to rise. And Rico actually had problems flying and getting to the airport and actually getting on a plane and flying, whether it was a claustrophobic feel or it was great anxiety.
Overstimulation.
Okay. And personally, I started getting claustrophobia. Getting in an MRI machine became impossible, and I learned through our time with Millennium and the Brain Well program with Dr. Mizell DeMaio that my body, through her genetic testing, doesn't assimilate dopamine, and if your body doesn't break down dopamine and your dopamine gets too high, you get anxious and worried, and that was part of my problem. But anyway, Rico found a trial that was going on for red light therapy, and he decided he needed to be in it. He begged, borrowed, and figured out how to get in that test, and it did wonders for him. He's back on top of his sales force. I think he was the best salesman in the company last year, but he's definitely getting. He's been having great results, and I think he gets on it 20 minutes every morning, 15 or 20 minutes every morning, and he's absolutely able to function at a very high level, almost back to what he was. And you can hear in his family's response, his wife, and he's got 2 kids, I believe, and they said it made a world of difference. Now, Rico has been around the red light therapy for quite a while with V-Light for a few years anyway, and so we are sold on it, and that's why we're getting one of the headsets as well, and we want to shout it from the rooftops of as we get some positive results. So that's what we're looking for.
And if you do talk to Rico about it, like he stated in the podcast, this is not a treatment for 6 months and done. This is a lifelong treatment. He actually said that if he did not put on that helmet and quit putting it off, he would regress. Repeated head impacts in CTE is a neurological brain-eating disease.
So the more that you can have an effect on lowering the inflammation and getting the garbage out of the neural pathways and the synapses and whatever that red light therapy does, and
the slower the degeneration of your brain.
And turn on that mitochondria and give it a little boost, a little cell energy. If our mitochondria are not working, we're dying slowly anyway.
So now, for people like me, Paul, you just used another $10,000 word.
Oh,
what is mitochondria?
Well, mitochondria is kind of like a little capsule, like in every cell. It's like a vegetable capsule, but with ridges around it, little ridges around it. You might. I remember. Well, you can go into biology books now and look at a cell from a cellular level, and they'll show you the components of the cell, and mitochondria is inside that. And mitochondria is like a battery. It's actually like a battery for the cell and for the body. So if it's not working correctly, or it doesn't have the right components, the right nutrients, the right everything, and it's gummed up from inflammation and inflammatory cytokines and what do they call them, microglias, and all wonderful stuff that can bind up that cell, and it's not getting the right nutrients, that it actually cannot create the ATP or the muscle or the cellular energy. So that red light therapy does a few things: lowers inflammation, takes garbage out of the brain, and actually gives the mitochondria a boost to help it create ATP. So it's a battery that was dying, but the red light therapy gives it a jolt and gives it a little. It's like recharging your battery. That's simply put. A neurologist was probably cringing, or a biologist is probably cringing hearing me talk about it like that. But right, but it's like a battery dying, and you're recharging the battery, and you're giving the battery what it needs to recharge. So that's what we're hearing that red light therapy is doing at a cellular level.
I can't wait to get it and try it. I
can't wait for you to get it and try it. So I can't wait for you to be fixed, though.
Me never get fixed. You're the one that every time you see Crystal, I'm fixed.
I'm fixed. Yeah. Well, it's pretty cool. We're not just going to sit back and let this disease kick our tail, right? And
no,
we're doing it for a myriad of reasons. One, we still feel that we can have a positive influence on people around us. We want to live, and we don't want to be a burden on our loved ones.
Well, and that's the biggest issue for me, is I've always wanted to be a product of society, not a burden on society.
Mm.
And after that car wreck, I have become a burden on society.
Mm.
And So I'm fighting for modalities and therapies that can keep me happier or make me go a little bit better for the day for my wife and my daughter, and just be, and probably for you. And also my new, well, it's not new, it's 16 months old now, is my new path in life is to bring hope and awareness to this terrible disease and to help people who suffer, and to just, I'll give them a voice, because I tell you what, these corporations, these big corporations, these four big, huge alphabet lettered associations, they don't want this out. They don't want out that, these sports are hurting people permanently. And we're going to be bringing in someone to talk about that in the rodeo world that just had their brain examined, or their father's brain examined, and we're going to give the report out then. But it's just tremendous that, with all the hell that's going out, that there's no one helping. I mean, if you look at the three big helpers of this disease, you got Concussion and CTE Foundation, Chris Nowinski and Dr. Robert Cantu. You got Mac Parkman Foundation with Bruce Parkman and Perry Parkman. You got the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation at stopcte.org with Karen and Doug Ziegel. And you got the HeadRush podcast and the HeadRush Foundation.
You got another factor in getting help would be, Millennium the Millennium Health Centers with Dr. Mark Court, and of course Dr. Mizell DeMaio, and you have your neurologist. So I guess what you're saying is the help coming from a foundation sense, and actually getting help and awareness to people that need it. In other words,
and that's what I'm talking about. Not the doctors, not the medical directors, but for people that just help.
Right.
And I mean, you look at a little bit, well, let's make it public. I think I already have. Let's make it public for you. We had Trevor Millar on from Ambio Life,
right,
on our podcast, and I don't think it's downloaded yet. No, and it won't be, but it's coming out. But if you look at it, me and Paul, we're going to Tijuana. I'm going to go put on a sombrero and go do ibogaine with Paul. We're going to do ibogaine together. Another modality that we're trying to help better our lives. But like I said, we are not doctors. We are not medical professionals. We are taking advice, doing our own research, doing our own thought process. I did not peer pressure Paul into going with me. And God knows, anybody that knows cowboys knows no one peer pressures us into doing anything. Is
stop. CTE.org proudly sponsors the HeadRush podcast.
Karen and Doug Ziegel, they are founders. Karen founded the Patrick Risha CTE Awareness Foundation, and they are one of the most comprehensive websites regarding repeated head impacts and chronic traumatic encephalopathy. They work with legislature. They've been doing this for about 10 years.
They're the grandparents of CTE in my book. So don't knock it. StopCTE.org.
Well, I think, Corey, one of the things I was literally leading into that, because you're going to be doing the photobiomodulation, the red light therapy, trying to feel if it's going to be helpful to you. And we're also researching and talking to Trevor Millar at Ambio. And yes, we have committed to do it, but only after you've spoken to many people who have tested veterans, Green Beret, Special Forces people,
NFL athletes,
and
hockey athletes.
hockey. Yeah. We just got to talk to, and we're going to have him on our podcast eventually. I think in May. A hockey Dallas Star, and he played.
Alashensky.
Yeah, Emsky. He played for 13 or 14 years in the NHL, and he's got one heck of a story, and it includes a life-altering journey through the process down at Ambio in Tijuana. So, and this is not just
Andrew Marr. I mean, there's a lot that have spoken out about this. Marcus Luttrell. Right. I mean, there's a lot of people that have come out openly to speak about Ibogaine. Brett Favre, who was on our podcast, has done it. So, I mean, and you need to do your research.
Yeah, exactly. And we're not just taking everybody's word for it that they had a good journey and good results. We're actually doing the research, and also we're following research like there was a recent study at Cornell. We're talking Cornell. We're not talking, a community college, right? And they actually did a study on psilocybin, and Ibogaine is similar to, it's a plant medicine, just like a psilocybin.
Well, they actually did that study at Stanford with the military, where they went in and did all the neurological exams, the brain exams, and everything at Stanford. Then they went down, did the Ibogaine treatment, then came back to Stanford and redid everything.
And they did brain scans, and there was legitimate science behind it. But the one thing that I'm talking about, the psilocybin with the mushrooms, the microdosing, is actual growth, dendritic growth, and brain matter growth in the brain, real time. They can see it. And the fascinating thing, you listen to Chase Hughes. He's a up and coming megastar on and social media and broadcasts, and he's been on Sean Ryan, and I don't know if he's been on Joe Rogan yet, but anyway, he followed it that clinical trial at Cornell. He followed it very closely, and they also found out that when you're microdosing, if you are positive and upbeat and thinking positive about life, you actually train that new dendritic growth, those dendrites and the brain growth in a positive manner. And conversely, if you're negative, if you have a bad temper, or you're raging, and you're on psilocybin microdosing, you actually create negative interaction with the new dendrite growth. You're still growing brain matter, but it actually comes out in a negative form. Or I would have to read, obviously, the actual study, but you get it. Positive, under positive, Chase Hughes said, this is wonderful, but it's scary too, because you actually can manipulate. If somebody's microdosing, you can manipulate how their brains react into the growth of their brains. So if you're ever microdosing, you better have somebody positive, and a positive, not a negative Nelly around you. You better have a positive Pollyanna. I don't know if you ever saw the story. What was that? Pollyanna? What was the movie? She was always positive in the light of darkness.
I have no clue.
Anyway, what we're trying to do is, what we're trying to say is, Corey, you're doing the red light therapy before you go down to Ambio and Tijuana to check out Ibogaine, an Ibogaine journey. We are just searching for things that will have a positive effect on our repeated head impact residuals. And Corey is TES because he's gone through all. He has 15 years of medical records stacked this high, and takes it into the doctor that finally can actually diagnose him TES. And he made it pretty easy for that doctor to do that. And that's one of the top doctors in the nation, in America, and probably in the world when it comes to TES diagnosis and CTE research.
Well, he works directly with Ann McKee and all of them guys. So,
Yeah.
well, he's part of the NFL study. His university is.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah. And so, I mean, going and seeing him, Dr. Jeremy Tanner at UT Health San Antonio at the Glenn Briggs Institute for Alzheimer's and Neurodegenerative Changes. A matter of fact, I'm going down there April 7th and 8th, and I'm doing a research down there, and they're going to do PET scans. The first day is going to be the amyloid, and the second day is going to be the tau. But the great thing about this one is I get the results. Tanner's actually going to get the results of these scans, so we'll be able to tell more about what it is. And if they find tons of tau, who knows, maybe with this research and being able to find all that tau, they'll look at me and go, well, you're diagnosed CTE. And you know that hopefully this is a way they can find it in the living.
Yeah, and it's definitely a study of biomarkers, trying to find the biomarkers and be able to diagnose it in the living. So that's pretty cool that you're involved with that. All right, on to the one that the next one that we're talking about more in depth. We might mention one or two more, but another therapy that we're talking about, and Corey has actually had 2 sessions, is neurofeedback. And neurofeedback, I believe, I want to say it's, I know it's FDA cleared, and they use a EEG contraption to measure, but it's a non-invasive therapeutic procedure that uses real-time monitoring of brainwave activity using EEG to train the brain to improve self-regulation, focus, and emotional control. And Corey, again, you have had 2 sessions. Tell us what does it entail? What do they do? Do they put another helmet on you and a contraption, or they what? Tell us about that experience.
Let me see if I can remember it, because I haven't done it in a while because my therapist is moving, and so did the neurofeedback machine. She's got another one. So Wednesday, I'll actually be going down and seeing her and doing the neurofeedback. Clips on your ears, little things, electrodes, or not electrodes, not electrocuting me. Little.
They're not pods, but they're sensors. They're sensors that actually attach to the skull, stick to the skull. Yeah.
And it's plugged into this computer, and the screen has all these scribbly lines that go back and forth, and you watch the screen, and them scribbly lines are actually your brain talking.
Yeah. Pretty fascinating.
Yeah, so you get to watch your neurofeedback, and so you're watching your own brain moving. And Rich Coates has a lot of good to say about neurofeedback.
Our friend from across the pond, who was a rugby player for 30 years.
Marshalling CTE.
Marshalling CTE, yes. Yeah, he said some of his teammates and people he's worked with
Mhm.
have actually had really good experiences quieting their brains down. Um,
Well, and it's
and
good enough that Crystal has bought a neurofeedback machine and using it. So you know that someone like Crystal, my therapist, is actually doing the research and checking out the clinical trials, because she's not going to go spend $10,000 on something that
mhm.
ain't going to work.
Yeah, and simply put, again, this is a 10,000-foot view. It actually acts as a gym exercise. So you're just exercising the brain, and they know clinically, they know it can treat ADHD, it can treat anxiety, it can treat PTSD and insomnia, among other things. So they have had some extensive research on it. I don't know if it isn't reimbursed yet, or how much it's reimbursed, or for what indications. Hopefully, when you do research and they talk about it treats ADHD, anxiety, PTSD, and insomnia, hopefully you would, at least those four indications would be covered by insurance. I'm not sure. Don't quote us on any of that. Do your research. And so,
And that's with all these modalities. Do your own research, talk to your own professionals, and all these modalities we talk about, even hyperbaric chambers and cold water plunges.
yeah, new
I
research
mean,
on
no
that.
matter what, do your own research on any of these modalities we talk about. We're just two old people talking on our phones and in studio to you guys about the research and everything that we have learned as we're bringing this to you. And so please go talk to your own physical therapist and everything. Because is a cold plunge good for you being AFib? Have you done research on that?
I haven't, but some new research just came out about cold plunge, and cold plunge is excellent for a number of different things about breathing. About, I mean, there was some really fascinating health benefits, physiological and biological health benefits from the cold plunge. But you don't have to get in a tub of ice in 36-degree water or 32-degree water. They said it's just as good running the water in your shower cold for 3 minutes.
Well, see, and I wonder how that works, because in Texas, when it's 134 degrees out, I don't
Yeah.
even turn on the hot water for the first 10 minutes.
Yeah. Well, do your study and do your research. It's pretty cool that the things that cold plunge will do, again, physiologically and health wise for your body. But you might not have to get in the frozen ice pond in Minnesota in January. So
I did a cold plunge years ago. The Cowboys started a cold plunge deal, and in the winter in Oregon, where it's cold.
Yeah.
And I went and jumped in the Rogue River, which is kind of like the coldest water around. And I just remember, man, everything just hitting me, and just, oh my God, me and Pickle did it together, and it took everything I could to get it back to the bank, because it just kind of hypothermia and all that stuff just went whoop. And I made it back to the bank, and it was funny. And I said, most people in this cold, they go jump in their swimming pool. Real men go jump in the river.
All right. You're right. Well, we've got so much more to talk about, and so many other therapies to talk about. I mean, we didn't even touch on ketamine has been a question mark. There's some good, bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly, or the indifferent. people have benefited from it. Some research says that you have to increase the dosage if you use it frequently, and so on and so forth. But a stellate ganglion block, they actually put a big needle in between your fifth and sixth vertebrae, I bet.
Well,
And,
right in the side of your neck.
Yeah, and oh yeah, they literally
Chris Boyce actually did the video and posted it of him getting the needles in his neck.
No thanks.
Exactly.
And they say that actually has a very positive effect on fight or flight or a PTSD. People that are always in fight or flight. And then you got the ketamine, you got the stellate ganglion block. We know we have a lot more to talk about, and we have a lot more to research. Do your own research. Make sure you don't just try anything, haphazardly. Make sure you please consult your physicians, your personal physicians, and talk through it and research it, and make sure that you are you're healthy enough to do some of these things. I'm going through. I have AFib and atrial fibrillation, and one of the things with the ibogaine treatment is they do extensive research on your heart. I'm going to be doing a EKG and an echocardiogram before, and then they do it under doctor's supervision as well. So
plus they'll also do one before you even go down, and then they'll do another one before you go under.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So it's we're not just going to Costa Rica or Peru and sitting
doing ayahuasca.
Well, we're not doing that, and we're going. Exactly. Say no more.
But let us know if you like these every 2 weeks talks with just me and Paul, how things are going. If you have any comments, suggestions, questions, please put them in a comment down below and give us ideas to talk about, because we're bringing this to you and we're trying this out to see how it goes. And so far, I think I like it. And I know other people have responded good to it for us. But this way, we're coming to you every week. And this is all thanks to Redbird Media, who is going to be producing these and editing it and all of that. And he had to take off on an emergency, so he's not with us. But
and we're going to.
He's going to get this big, long video, and he's going to edit it down, cut it, make it look good, and ship it out to you guys. So let us know what you think about these personal podcast episodes.
We appreciate it. And we promise we're going to dress it up a little bit. We're going to have nice banners behind us with the HeadRush Foundation. I think we're going to get 2 banners. One of us will have the foundation behind us, and one of us will have the HeadRush podcast behind us. So we want both. Again, we're gonna have those donate buttons up very quickly, if not already. And
they're not up already, so don't even go there. We're still working.
I don't know, but by the time this airs, maybe it is. Who knows? I don't know. So, but we want to get
up to the powers that be that do that.
Well, and yes, the fact is we are legally we can legally solicit funds for donations and give donors a tax write-off legally.
So reach out to Paul Frase and tell him that you want to donate. Reach out to me and tell me you want to donate, and I'll connect you with my wife. I am not on the bank account. I am not a signature, but I can give you the address to mail the check to. And then keep an eye out for HeadRushFoundation.org. And also go check out our website at HeadRushPodcast.org or .com.
.com, yes.
And stay alert.
And stay alive.
And let's just really see what we can do and grow. And like I said, me and Paul, obviously, we're in this for the long run. If we are looking at possibly building a 50-acre ranch, horses, and several little houses for people to come and stay on the property for a length of time and go through some of these modalities and all of this. So we're not leaving. We're not going anywhere. We're in it for the long haul.
Hey, we're gonna have to talk about food too. We didn't even touch on
Chapter 20 of the Dr. Amen, Change Your Brain, Change Your Life.
That's right. Yeah. So there's a lot to cover. That's gonna
well, you got his new book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Pain. Is chapter 20 in that one?
Yes. Yeah. I don't know if there's a chapter 20 in that one, but I am reading it right now. And can we share the surprise?
Sure, go for it.
Well, we actually are getting Dr. Amen on as a guest to the HeadRush podcast, and it will probably be aired in May, this coming May. So we're excited, and we're getting ready to ask him some great questions about his new book, Change Your Brain, Change Your Pain, and we're really excited about the opportunity. So,
you know who's probably more excited, me and you?
No.
How about Nick LeDuc?
Our friend who has had the SPECT scan that is specialized, that Dr. Amen has brought into neurological health and wellness practice in a great way. So yeah, Nick will be very surprised and happy. I think he'll probably want to get in studio and start asking questions. So
no, we don't want Nick there for that one.
All right. Appreciate it, Corey. Thank you. You guys have a good night in Dallas or Stephenville.
I plan on it. Go Bees and go purple.
That's right.
Hey, what color is your orange at Syracuse? But what's your favorite college team now?
I mean, Syracuse. I want them to win, but it's been few and far between. So, but I did my most recent college game was Tarleton State right there in Stephenville. I even have a jersey. Clint Corey and his wife Beverly got me a nice pullover, Tarleton State pullover, and they win. Did they win their division, or they went undefeated, or something like that? They lost one game.
They lost one game, and they made it clear into the playoffs and lost in the semifinals.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool run. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was. And so, well, you're talking about Texas. We got champions and everything around here. I mean, we got over 200 gold buckles in this city. Yeah. And not mentioning our football teams, our high school team are even state champions.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I mean, we got a lot of good stuff around here, but stay alert, stay alive. Thank you. Please like, share, follow, comment. Do a review. Let us know how we're doing. If you like us, hit the review and give us 5 stars. If you hate us, do a review. Well, if you hate us, don't review us, because I don't want to see a 1 star on our page. So other than that, enjoy your time, and we will see you next week in studio.
Happy Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter. Will this be showed before Easter?
No.
Well, hope you all had a good Easter.
Yeah, no, it is. It will be showed before Easter.
2 weeks from now?
Easter's in Palm Sunday is today. This is going to be shown the Monday after Easter. Well, I hope you enjoyed your Easter, everybody.
Happy Easter, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a good one. Talk to y'all later.
This podcast is for general information only and does not constitute the practice of medicine. The use of this information and the materials linked to this podcast is at the user's own risk. The content of this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Users should not disregard and delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.